Hello, geeks! What's up? This is the officially unofficial Geek Channel weekly Spoilertastic weekly comic roundup. I am your host, Harley Quinn. As always, I am here with the comics on Sunday. Spoilertastic because it's Sunday, and why not? And so basically, this is a show where I go ahead and I talk about the comics that I read this week and tell you a little bit about them, tell you what I thought of them. As always, we do it in a worst to best kind of manner here. So that's what we do. Just to let you guys know, I did tell you guys that I was going to tell you what I was going to offer once I hit the 50 subscriber mark. I have figured that out. So if you're new here, please, if you want to get down on this, please subscribe to the channel. Please like the video. Please comment on the video and you will be entered. And so here's what's the deal. Here's what's going down. I have been working on trying to create a system of all my creative endeavors here. This channel, my writing, my photography, kind of creating a area where it can all come together and be interchangeable and everything. So the giveaway is going to be one, a major like that I have comic wise. I'm going to try to tailor it as much as I can to the person that wins, to a print of my photography, and 3, a copy of my self-published book of kind of angry poetry. So that is what my giveaway here is. It's going to involve comics. It's going to involve photography. It's going to involve my writing. So it's a little bit of all those things put together. So that's what it is. That's what I'm telling you now. Yay. So if you're down, like, comment, subscribe. You want to get free things? You want to win a free thing? Maybe some other goodies along the way. Whatever I think of to throw in the box. Who knows? Ooh. But anyways, this week we have an on week for the collected edition Tuesdays. This collected edition Tuesday, I've been working my way through. I'll just show you guys. The Batman Who Laughs. This is the follow-up basically to Metal. I've been working my way through it. I'm actually pretty into it compared to Metal so far, so that's what we're going to be doing. Then Friday, Flashback Friday is a little bit up in the air. But right before that, we'll figure out something to talk about for What's Happening Wednesday. And we'll be doing What's Happening Wednesday, but that's something we do every week. And let's see here. Flashback Friday is still up in the air. Got a really, really busy, that's April 1st, and I've got a really, really busy day job April 1st, so I don't know. Might have to postpone that until a later time, or maybe I'll just, I'll wing it. But Flashback Friday is always when I do something that is more than a year old and talk about it. So, yay! Anyways, so that's just kind of our housekeeping for the moment. Please, like, share, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and you'll be entered in for the one contest. And keep checking out our videos. And yeah, that's the deal. So now to the comics. As always, like I mentioned, we do this in a order from my least liked to my most liked in the week, and I talk about things about the comics and what I liked, what I didn't like about them, respectfully. So I gotta tell you something, guys. And the thing is like, um, I'm already like, I'm a pretty much a big joiner type of person when it comes to certain things. I get often pretty excited about um, things like events and that kind of thing. Um, I'm sure people have told me it's gonna wear off and I'm not gonna like it anymore. Sure, got it. I accept that. But for now, I'm gonna milk this for the all the pleasure that I can. But for this week, the first issue that I'm going to be talking about, which is my least liked, is going to be the part 4 of Trial of the Amazons. This is Trial of the Amazons, Wonder Girl, 1 of 2. And you know what? Here's the thing. How does a comic that goes from being one of my most liked of last week, that's from the same event, how does it go from being my most liked to being my least liked? How does that happen, guys? Well, let me tell you something. It's probably due to the fact that we had this whole shakeup where um, Wonder Girl, which was in an ongoing series at DC Comics, got canceled. And we got through, I believe, issue 7. And this is their like, okay, so here's the thing. We're gonna cover what would have happened in issue 8, and so in Trial of the Amazons, the Wonder Girl parts of Trial of the Amazons. So what ended up happening was taking our girl Yara Flor, who's pretty freaking awesome, and thus taking anything that could have happened and answered and any questions that could have been answered, dealing with flow and timeline and everything from the end of her story and compacting it in just a few pages of time. Then we kind of go back and rehash things that have already happened in Trial of the Amazons, except it involves more Yara Flor. Um, which the thing is Trial of the Amazons was already involving Yara Flor. Now, but the thing is because the fans have sat there and like, now you've taken Yara Flor away from us. They've been anticipating this, and there's the possibility you have fans that are reading this and subsequently the other part of Trial of the Amazons, Wonder Girl, part 2, and then not reading some of the other stuff with, reason. Because maybe some people were reading this and they weren't reading Wonder Woman. The thing is, at the end of Wonder Woman last week, we had a major revelation, a major decision, a major thing that happened that was absolutely just a beautiful moment. Beautiful moment. Made me cry. Now, granted, I cry at a lot of stuff. I cry for a lot of stuff. But this moment, through the whole thing, you have Wonder Woman dealing with the death of her mother, okay? Goes on a little bit of a sabbatical, a little thought, after she comes in strong and hard and she's wanting like, I'm going to use the lasso, I'm going to figure out who killed my mother, blah blah blah, and everyone's getting upset with her. So she runs off and she's like, you know what, I need to do some thinking, right? So she goes off and she does some thinking. She realizes she's not going to start going around and asking everyone questions with the lasso. So that's good. Um, but the thing is like, this whole journey in like, 20 something pages of her processing what has happened to her mother, what has happened to the Amazons, what's happening, going on, everything that's going to be going on all of that. And she makes this beautiful, like, declaration that it was her mother's goal to eventually unite all Amazons. Okay? It was her mother's goal. She is now been cut down in the middle of that goal, or in the middle of the process of that goal. And now Wonder Woman has decided, in honor of her mother and her mother's memory, she is going to compete to become the new guardian of Doom's Doorway. Yeah, major, you know, major moment here. Um, she is going to compete not for herself, not for the Themysciran Amazons, but on behalf of all Amazons everywhere, because that's what her mother would have wanted, to unite all the Amazons. There's no bickering between groups. They could all be together and all unite under one, I for lack of a better term, unite under one banner. It's her mother's desire, it's her mother's goal that she had in life, one of them at least. And instead of sitting there like, did you kill my mom? Did you kill my mom? Did you kill my mom? She's like, fuck it all. Y'all can compete. But I'm doing this for all of us. Beautiful moment. She interrupts everything. Granted, she interrupts everything. Beautiful moment. She's like, you know what? Fuck it. Fuck it, guys. Because I'm trying to make a point here. And I gotta use all my resources to make this goddamn fucking point, because there's this moment. It's right at the end. We have a secondary story in this as well, so it's like gotta make sure I don't go too far. They're all gathered in the hall. They're all announcing their champions. You've got, Yara's being announced, Philippus is being announced by, and then you have, the Bana Miguel is going to announce, right about ready to announce Donna of Troy as their champion. And then all of a sudden there's this, this call out from above, and she's like, hold your horses. And she does this. She jumps in and she says, I, Diana, daughter of Hippolyta, throw in my gauntlet to compete in the trial. I am beholden to none, a champion for no tribe, but for all Amazons. So, back to Trial of the Amazons, Wonder Girl 1. So, we had Wonder Girl stop at the end of issue 7, not really answering everything, saying we're gonna get her answers in this issue here, and really didn't. Yeah, sure, we got answers. Yeah, sure. It's like, it's the fast forward version of what we were supposed to get. It's the fast forward version. There's this whole circumstance here where, like, you're getting like this history, and this is some beautiful artwork, by the way. It's lovely. You're getting some history. You're getting, the location. You're getting, you're getting kind of like, here's roll call. We're introducing all the Escuela. Um, You get a, hey, this is kind of some of the stuff we were handling, you know, in the meantime before we showed up at Themyscira, all working together, and then we made the plan to go to Themyscira, and then you have them talking about that. Then you have them showing up to Themyscira. Then we have the next confusing thing that happens. We have a break in the narration and dialogue having to do with just Yara Flor and the Escuela and what they do. Then all of a sudden we have this really confusing break where the narration changes to Cassie. And Cassie is starting her investigation, air quotes, of trying to figure out who killed Hippolyta. And here's the thing. I'm not even sure how great this idea was. I'm not even sure why Nubia greenlighted this one over, just let's bind everyone's hands with the lasso and find out who did it. Like, because Cassie has really no freaking clue how to, go about this, guys. She's really screwing the pooch here. And, it's not really working out. She's pissing people off just as much as Diana was just pissing people off in the last episode, or last issue, excuse me. Talking about who is, let me see if I can, there we go, that looks better. I just had to alter, yeah, okay. You have, Wonder Woman, getting in trouble because she wanted to find out who did it. Then you got Cassie getting in trouble because she starts questioning people. And she's like, not really. She said she was going to investigate who did it, but then she just goes straight to accusing people. Which was kind of pointless. It was pointless. And the thing is it just seemed like somebody was given the task of having to put a couple issues worth of content in just a small amount of area. And I don't even, I'm not even gonna fault, the writer with this one, because you've got, here we go, we're gonna do a bunch of, we're gonna just do a bunch of, like, little sections, and not really do any kind of justice whatsoever. We're gonna rush these things, and then you have basically the equivalent of, I mentioned on Twitter, the way I described it on Twitter, you have basically the equivalent of getting your school announcements at the beginning of the day to announce that Wonder Woman is going to be involved in the trial. So basically, it takes this absolutely beautiful moment from Wonder Woman and the end of Wonder Woman wanting to, compete. Like today at lunch, the menu is Salisbury steak and mac and cheese. The weather is 60 degrees and sunny. And oh, by the way, Wonder Woman's competing, guys. Did not do justice to your floor and the Escuela. Did not do justice. Confusing changes in story, like direction, between hopping from talking about Yara Flora and the Escuela and then jumping to Cassie. Then we got this, lackluster, oh, by the way, moment. Totally kind of downplaying what happened. So either someone ended up not caring anymore, or the assignment was an impossible assignment. As somebody that is a creative person as well, as somebody that has created things, I'm gonna say that maybe this was just an impossible, had something happen where, things didn't quite normally work out the way you wanted them to. I'm gonna say this is probably one of those things where it was probably an impossible assignment to give someone. Man, it stunk. Could have been so much better. And it's a disappointment. It's a disappointment for people that are Yara Flor fans, people that are Joelle Jones fans. I'm gonna sit here and say I don't think this was necessarily completely her fault. And if you are given the impossible assignment like this, yeah, this was the impossible assignment. And hopefully the second one is better. Um, so guys, because of the Shadow War thing happening, is it Shadow War? I don't fucking know. Okay, I went ahead and I jumped back into Deathstroke Inc. With Deathstroke Inc., we've got a family reunion, just like the title boasts. Here we've got Respawn and Ravenger showing up to find Daddy Warbucks here. Uh, to find Daddy Deathstroke here, assembling his arsenal, his basically his legion of League of Shadows, um, kind of thing here, where you get a little bit of the backstory on Respawn. And let me tell you, if Deathstroke goes after Ra's al Ghul after this, I think Ra's al Ghul has it coming. Like, for real. Like, so basically, you find out that Respawn, he removes his mask, and you find out that he is the son, basically, test tube baby of Deathstroke's Slade Wilson and Talia al Ghul. Yeah. And that basically this kid was given regenerative powers, regenerative ability, more like. And when that happened, they were Ra's al Ghul was basically using him to repair Damian Wayne, Robin, Batman, and Talia al Ghul's son. So, wow. And then you have that little thing where, like, Ravenger's like, quite rightly, you can't do all this shit. Let's, try to go and actually be a real family, but you can't do all this shit, and expect it to work out right. Well, then, basically, we get to the point where, Respawn, to prove more than likely to prove his allegiance to his father, throws Ravenger out a window. It's okay. She'll be fine. She'll be back. And as Slade Wilson said, she'll be pissed. Can't wait to see that. That would be cool. We're going to be getting into God, what is the name of that fucking thing? I don't know. It's another like crossover event. Crossover. You know what? It's a story arc. It's a story arc. It's just a story arc. That's all it is. It's a story arc. Next one on the hit parade, we got Task Force Z number 6. Okay, so we got Batman in this issue. Yes. The team comes with Two-Face and has saved, or working towards saving Jason. They get him free, and KG Beast is knocked out, and so they get through all of that, get through all the fail safes there and all the booby traps, get out. They're racing down the street, and they attract the attention of Batman. And Jason's like, okay, here's the thing. I'm gonna take care of this. And so Jason, decides he's gonna go talk to Batman now. But here, put a pin in that, because we need to talk about some other stuff. Okay. That's a major moment in the entire thing, but put a pin in it. We're gonna come back to it. Hold up. So what we've got here in this issue of Task Force Z number 6 is we got kind of like a time jumping thing, like back then, now, back then, now, and then and now kind of thing. Kind of building up exactly why shit was going down the way it did the last couple of issues, is because Bloom, who has been working with them, you kind of find out that Bloom ends up being kind of a big mastermind of all of this. And where you thought he was just some like lackey, he's actually destroyed the original project, took everything from it, goes to the senator, and is like, okay, so we need this kind of backing. And they do that. And that's what builds this whole project, with Two-Face at the helm. And thus we're here. It also shows there's the whole process of Two-Face and team, the head of the team, and funding, going to Amanda Waller to sell her on this issue of Lazarus resin. And they need her backing. And they basically, she's not interested until they make it sound like that if it succeeds, she'll get most of the credit. Which is, of course, music to Amanda Waller's ears. So Amanda Waller is like, okay, you son of a bitch, I'm in. And so that's kind of your past. Now we got to deal with the present. Okay, so I asked you guys to put a pin in the whole Batman thing, and now we're getting back to it. So Batman, in a previous issue, has been trying to pull Jason out, and you find out that they set this whole thing up so that Jason could get in, and Batman tried to pull him out before, and Jason's like, no, you can't tell me what to do. You're not my real father, and I'm gonna do what the fuck I want. Okay. So Batman left him to do his thing. Well, then Batman is now, been annoyed again. So he's chasing after this van that Two-Face is driving. And, Jason's like, okay, let me handle it. So Jason jumps out the back of the van, and Jason is now trying to talk to Batman and fighting with him. And he's like, look, I gotta have you just let me be. Know that I can handle this. Know that I am on top of this, that I do not need to be pulled out. I do not need help. I have this team. Thank you. Goodbye. And the team actually, like Two-Face actually shows up, and he's like, yeah, we've got something going here. And so Jason is like, okay, here's the thing. All right, you get a choice. You can either trust me and let me go do this thing, Or you can beat us all up and take us to Arkham or Blackgate, whichever floats your boat. So, that's the end of that scene, right? So Jason gives them that, like, you can do either one. You can either let us go, trust me, or you can fight me, fight us. And that's the end of it. And then you get more information about how everything is going down, and you get another flashback scene, which is kind of just detailing everything that we were talking about previously. Then you have just the idea that they're trying to figure out what's going on now. Amanda Waller's gone, because obviously, if you've been reading Suicide Squad, which I haven't, but I've been filled in. She's off going to Earth 3 and doing stuff there. So with her Suicide Squad, she's like over there, not dealing with this anymore. Not on Prime, the Prime Earth, right? She's off, or like Earth 0, she's off doing her thing, right? Or Earth 1, or I forget which Earth this is, sorry. So she goes off, and she's off, she's doing her thing, which is what they discover, that she's long gone. She's not there. She's not gonna be there. So right now they have to figure out what's Bloom doing. What's the deal with Amanda Waller? Why are they screwed, or why are they not screwed? Jason has a plan. And what you find out in one of these, flashback scenes is that for some reason they meant from the very beginning to pick Jason Todd as the leader of this group. Which means there's some stuff that Jason is still not being told. There's some stuff that it's still not all on the up and up here, and that is a problem. And I have a feeling that that's going to probably fall apart very shortly. We'll see. Next, we're going to talk about Action Comics 1041. This issue mostly centers around the activities of Midnighter, who is trying and going through all different processes and beating some ass, killing some people, just to get to where he can find Apollo. Love story of the week, right here. Midnighter and Apollo. Basically, Midnighter is tearing the whole war world apart to get to Midnighter, or excuse me, get to Apollo. Superman's, vision of how to handle things be damned. Yeah. And it gets to the point where even Superman gets involved, and he's like, you know what? We're going to do this. I have lost my... It seems like maybe Superman did not have as much patience as he thought he did in the beginning, which is fine, which is cool, because now things are starting to move forward. Finally. Dear God. But Midnighter and Apollo, love story of the week. He is literally tearing through all of... Anyone gets in Midnighter's way, it is just like, you don't even know. You are probably dead now. Because if you got in Midnighter's way, you are dead. And that's all there is to it. So now we've got Detective Comics 1058. This is the end of the Arkham Tower series. They called it Shadows of the Bat. I feel like they used that freaking term way too many times. Shadow of the Bat. Shadows of the Bat. Bat shadows. Blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to call it the Arkham Tower storyline. The Arkham Tower event. Thank you very much. Um, so basically, we've got the end of this. We've got the whole um, kind of winding down of the story, kind of like what we got with Fear State Omega, where it's all winding everything down. It's putting everything together, bringing it all to a period or a question mark, so to speak. Like how I did that. Okay, so if you've read the issue, when I say bringing it down to a period or a question mark, you should get the goddamn joke, okay? Okay, guys, this is Spoilertastic. So, anyways, we get a number of things happening here. We got everything's getting settled up with the mayor's office. You've got Deb Donovan action. You know how I love Deb Donovan. You know how Deb Donovan is my girl. So we get some Deb Donovan thing going on here. We've got a lot of other stuff going on here. Just tidying everything up with a little bow and saying, "Oh, that looks lovely." One of my favorite moments in this is when Batman and the Batgirls go and find Penguin's henchmen and beat the crap out of them. That was lovely. Some lovely artwork, especially in this whole like banner panel where it has all of them walking away like it's a freaking rock album cover. Um, yeah, I like that. And okay, so here's the thing. It is setting up, you get this radio frequency break in, and it's setting up for the next big storyline to involve the Riddler, hence the question mark. Okay, so guys, I try to be clever for you, okay? I try to be clever where I can. Okay, so let's talk about the next one. We've got Rogues. Rogues #1. This is a DC Black Label Prestige Plus. Lovely. Nice, nice. So I for the most part like this. Okay. Um it's an interesting concept. I like that in DC we have two different kind of perspectives on the heist storyline going on right now. We have got Catwoman Lonely City, and we have this one, Rogues, which is basically Captain Cold, Heatwave, all these different rogues that are retired because, well, they got caught and they're paying retributions and they're trying not to be in jail and all that jazz. So, um, but because of all that, life has been really shitty for them all. Okay. Um, so the Len, Captain Cold, gets the idea that he's going to get the band back together, so to speak, and with some new additions, and they're going to try and steal Gorilla Grog's, like, I guess his like Scrooge McDuck like fortune. They're gonna steal. They're not gonna. I think what the plan is, based on what it's saying, is they're going in there and they want to take enough that they don't have to worry about being in trouble or ridiculed anymore. Um, so most of the story I was completely on board with. I had to me it seemed a little bit like an overkill to after freezing the guards at this mental health facility, that they like that Captain Cold Len just went ahead and like totally like beheaded one, separated a torso from the legs on one, and thought it was overkill. But I get it. They are he's a villain. He's a rogue. He doesn't care. He just wants He just wants to not have to deal with people being shitty. Because let me tell you, this guy, he had a job and he was trying to be a hard worker. He was trying to do all the things. He was trying to, actually it looked like he was trying to stay on the straight and narrow, but he was just kept down by everything, by his employer, by society, by, everything. And it's like one of those things. It's like very much like Michael Douglas, falling down. Everybody is one bad day away from, like away from doing, what they do. And, everyone is one bad day away from, murder and all that. So, I'm enjoying the story. It is one of like, well, three heist centered titles. You have Batman Killing Time, which I really didn't like. I don't have any desire to keep reading that one. You have Rogues, and you have Catwoman Lonely City, where you have Rogues where it's like they're actually trying to do this heist, so it's kind of like a bank robbery type heist, except it's not. And then you have Catwoman Lonely City, where basically Catwoman um is doing this heist like type of situation so that she can get answers on um what happened involving the death of Batman, among others. But I gotta say, like, I'm not really into the Killing Time one, but I do have to say I do like the Rogues one. I obviously, in the past, have really loved the Catwoman Lonely City. I like these kind of things. I'm gonna keep going. Please release Catwoman Lonely City soon. That would number 3. That would be great. That'd be great if you could do that. DC Comics. Next on the hit parade, we're gonna talk about Harley Quinn number 13. Nice, nice, nice. Very nice. Um, I always love these covers from Derek Chu. Um, I've been getting all of them basically throughout the whole entire um, this whole entire volume run by Stephanie Phillips, um, Riley Rossmo. Nice, very nice. Harley Quinn is, in her own way, taking her own approach to this whole be a hero thing. And that's one of the things that I really like about this is like, one, it's like it's the Harley Quinn's guide to becoming a hero. Because something tells me Batman would probably frown upon Harley Quinn stealing a van of food that was going to be thrown out to give to give the less fortunate people. Yeah, he would understand the concept, but he would still frown upon that. But in Harley's mind, she looks at herself as being kind of a Robin Hood of types, and she's going to steal from the rich to give to the less fortunate. And that's something that is a big deal for her. Um, so you basically, this whole story is mostly when you're checking in with Harley, that's what she's doing. She's in the middle of all this. You do have a moment that was really nice with Kevin where Kevin goes back to her apartment and she's just like, she's a little bit nervous to let him in. She's like, oh, it's probably not all that clean, and you get in, you get the distinct idea that Harley has, kind of been neglecting things because she's been upset, she's been depressed, and it's probably because of is Ivy, and Kevin senses this, and he kind of sits there and he's like, you know what, I am here for you. I know things have been kind of going better for me, but that doesn't mean that I'm not here for you. And if you need to talk, let's talk. You need to talk to people if you're upset. And that's the thing I'm going to say to anyone. It's like, if you're upset, talk about it. Seek a refuge somewhere, because it turns out that it's exactly what was wrong with Harley Quinn. Um, and she has this wonderful moment with Kevin, where Kevin's like, you know, it's okay. I know it's not the same kind of love, but I love you. And she's like, I love you too, Kevin. Kevin has just been this wonderful addition to Harley Quinn, and this whole, Harley Quinn is, redemption story, the Harley Quinn become a hero story, and her working through all that. And it's been a wonderful take on mental health and everything, and it's really been there for me in a way that, like, it's hard to talk about. That the whole idea of, you know Harley Quinn working through all this stuff and working through everything that she's been through, and putting it up against everything that she's trying to do now. And it's actually I'm really quite taken with this portrayal of Harley Quinn. You still have her spunk, you still have her pizzazz, you still have the fact that she is not really quite willing to be on the complete straight and narrow. She makes exceptions, and it's exceptions that you can get on board with, and you still look at her like her progression and her growth is not negated by what she does. And I love that. Now, you have the other side of the coin here. You have the other kind of story that has started inching its way, and now it's fully engrossed in Harley Quinn, where you have this character. I believe they're going with the name Verdict. Verdict is going around and doing like some really hardcore vigilante kind of stuff, where they're actually going in and killing people, and they're doing it with the intention of direct intention of framing Harley Quinn. So, like, you have this one particular scene that gets shown where a woman dressed in a Harley Quinn costume, wearing a Harley Quinn mask, comes in and starts shooting a whole bunch of mobsters and kills like this major mobster figure, and it basically ends up on camera. And so it gets the police go ahead and they come and they arrest Harley Quinn, and now Harley is stuck in Blackgate prison trying to figure out what the hell happened. It wasn't me this time. You know, and dealing with that. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see where that goes up. If you follow Stephanie Phillips on Twitter, she has mentioned that this was Harley Quinn 13. Just in a few short issues, Harley Quinn 16. She said that it was one of her. I believe she said it was one of her favorites that she wrote for the series so far. So that means we've got some good stuff coming. Um, Next on the hit parade here, we got two more comics left. We got Robin number 12. This was a heartfelt, wonderful tribute to the heart of the character of Alfred Pennyworth. Um, Alfred Pennyworth obviously meant a lot to Damien, and if you didn't know that, then pick up Robin number 12 and read it. Um, he's basically sitting there with the Lazarus resin, um, like, I could bring him back. You were the first person that really treated me with kindness, really treated me with any kind of respect. You were great to me from basically you were great to me from day one, and I failed you, all that stuff, and so he's sitting there and he's dealing with all this, and his mom shows up. Talia al Ghul shows up, and she, at first Damien is ready. He's ready for it to just be a fight. He's like, where we last left this, mother, was not good. And I'm ready. You know what? Fuck it. We will fight right now, me and you, to the death. And she's like, how about we just try to be, a mother and son? How about we just try to be those two people? How about I try to be a mother and you can be my son? And Damien's just like, I could be into that. And because she's just like, well, why don't you give it to him? You have this whole issue where Damien is sitting there fighting with the idea, fighting with himself. Like, he's just like, I could do this. You should do this because, Alfred is dead because of you and you could bring him back alive, blah, blah, blah. And you are a horrible person. He's basically, there's this moment where he is fighting, himself. And then when his mother shows up, he's just like, I couldn't do it because it wouldn't be him. It wouldn't be Alfred. And so they walk off together. And we'll have to see where that goes. But okay, guys, we are down to the last issue of the week. Guys, this has absolutely been an astounding series. Astounding artwork. Astounding story. All around beauty. And I'm speaking, of course, of The Human Target, issue 6. Black Label. I love these Black Label books, man. Like, this one, just like not necessarily the thinker like last issue was, but still impressive, 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 impressive. Can't get much more impressive in this. The thought narration process of Christopher, where he's sitting there and he's being more and more affected by Ice. And I'm getting to the point where I'm thinking Ice truly believes what she's saying here. But there's a part of her that might also think what he's thinking is true because of how she reacts to it. This has really just been absolutely wonderful. And it's one of those things where, like, there's this moment, like, he reveals to her that he thinks that fire is the one that has poisoned him. And she's just like, fuck you, like, I'm fucking leaving, and that kind of thing. And then he goes through, stuff that he's dealing with, and he talks to some people, and then he just goes ahead and he shows up at her door later on, like, and they don't really say anything about it. It's just like, and it gets to the point where, gosh, it's just, I gotta just show you guys. Shit. There's this moment where, like, he's dealing with everything. He can still smell her perfume. He goes and he talks to to the doc, right? And then, like, he's like, yeah, basically everything you thought was, probably there. He leaves. He makes a plan. He's going to go, he's going to do this, he's going to do this, he's going to do this. And then he goes and he does none of it. He goes straight to her. He's like, that's the plan. To head home, to get ready, to continue with my case, to find my killer. And I just think that is just a beautiful. It either has a lot of meaning one way or a lot of meaning another way, and we are going to have to wait to find out. because he goes to find his killer. He says he's going to go find his killer, but then he doesn't go anywhere but go to be with her. Um, there's a moment where he's just like, you know, in the narration, he's like, the longer I know her, the less I can be without her. And then, like, freaking Guy Gardner shows up, right? So Guy Gardner shows up, and he is on his normal shit, okay? He is, one, uninvited. Two, probably, since he's uninvited and he won't leave, he is stalking Ice. Okay, he is this is one of these things where I was talking about it earlier with Joe. I was like, you know, this is one of those things that, you know, if they put the content warning on it, that would have made sense. But if they didn't put the content warning on it, would the people that have needed to see this then been compelled to read it? And it affected me emotionally seeing this, you know, being a woman, being someone that has dealt with the crap before. So it affected me emotionally. But you know what? I'm okay. I'm okay. I think that, you know, I can't speak for every woman, obviously. I can only speak for myself. But like we've all either heard someone's story or heard someone's, you know, tale or history or seen something where we've seen something this like this um or we've experienced it ourselves. And yeah, Guy Gardner shows up, gets into an argument with both of them. She orders a guy to leave the house. He does not. She orders him again to leave. He does not. She orders him again to leave, and he does not. And then he goes to strike her, and she defends herself. And when she does that, Chris then tries to defend her. Okay. And Guy lets his guard down enough that she's able to fully freeze him. And then Chris punches him. And we get this amazing piece of artwork here. Where he's just like, and then you get this whole, like, they go and they just push him over and he shatters, right? Guy Gardner does. And the next page is, I think I'm falling in love with you. I'm sorry. And he gets into this whole, like, narration thing where he gets wounded from the fight with Guy Gardner, and he's like, this is what he says. He's like, she freezes the wound, stops the hurt. Then she gets a med kit she has left from her Justice League days and patches me up. The whole time we don't say much, just a few, move your hand this way, that feels fine, thank you. It's not until sometime later that we start talking about Guy, and by then we know it's too late. The right thing to do would be to have called in some superheroes as soon as we were able, told them what happened, see if there's anything they could do. Heroes are in the business of miracles, you never know. Of course, they'd be there with some questions. Could Ice have stopped this? She's a superhero too. She has her own miracles. Surely there's some way to calm a guy down without killing him. Surely surely you could have done something to help Chance. Before you know it, with enough of these questions, self-defense becomes murder. So when she finally calms down and asks me the big question, I know what she really is asking is, do you think anyone knew Guy was here? is it going to be all right? One of the major things that happens in assault cases where, you know, a man is assaulting a woman in some way, whether it be just, fists or sexualized, is you get the whole circumstance of, well, does the victim uh, go to the authorities? Does the victim go and find help? Or does the victim worry about how they are going to be perceived and if they are going to get in trouble? And then when a victim doesn't come forward for some time, they, have to deal with that. And they have to deal with the fact that they didn't come forward. And then you get to a point where maybe they're willing to finally come forward. And then the first thing everybody asks them is, well, what did you do? And the thing is the woman's like, I did nothing. I got raped. I got hit. I got, whatever. But why didn't you come sooner to us? And it's all in here. In that whole page. Why didn't you do something sooner? Well, because eventually it would have all come back on her. And when it comes right down to it, Guy Gardner and this iteration of Guy Gardner was abusive, stalkery, and a few other goddamn things. There you go. So he spends more time with her. He leaves. He finally goes to the office, and we got a cliffhanger where when he enters his office, there is fire sitting there waiting for him. And that's the end of the issue. And it is just, he has 6 days left. And you're going to tell me, God damn it, we have to wait. Like, this is going on hiatus now. It's going on hiatus now. We got to wait. We got to wait 6 months, I believe. If I'm wrong on that, and in the comments, please tell me. Ease my mind a little bit. But we're going to, from what I understand, we're going to get a trade of the first 6 issues, and then we will be coming back for more in a number of months. I think this is actually a trade that I'm probably going to invest in, even though I have the individual issues, just to have it in a collected format. I've been really into this, really enjoying it. I think this is a really important story in content, entertainment wise, in content theme wise, and this is just actually like some actual real good time writing right here. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoy it. Been really enjoying it every week, or every month, more like. Sorry. But anyways, that is it for me for this week. That was the best issue of the week. Human Target, book 6. Loving it. Tom King, Greg Smallwood. Holy crap, wonderful. Yeah. So, anyways, all right. So, guys, like, share, comment, subscribe. Remember, if you comment on this video, you like, share, subscribe, all that jazz. If you'd like, comment, subscribe, you'll be entered into the contest that I mentioned earlier on in the video. Also, please check out some of the links down below. We've got merch, we've got other stuff going on. Please check it out if you are so inclined. And until next time, I'll be seeing you guys on Tuesday with Collected Edition Tuesdays, with Batman Who Laughs. What's Happening Wednesday, as always. And we've got Flashback Friday, still up in the air, Flashback Friday. And as always, next Sunday with the Spoilertastic Weekly Comic Roundup. Until then, until any of those times, this has been the officially unofficial Geek Channel Spoilertastic Weekly Comic Roundup. I'm Carrie Quinn, and until next time, I'll be seeing ya. Bye!